Hey everyone, this is Joe Henches, and this is a market update for Thursday, October 10th. Actually, couldn't remember what day it was. Thursday, October 10th. This is for Beyond the Chart. So, hope everyone's having a great evening, and just wanted to give a quick run through the markets in terms of their net at the end of the day. Were very mixed. The Dow was up 26 points, the Nasdaq was down a few points, S&P I think was up 1 point. The chart we've got here is the Dow Industrials, and you can see it did break that trend line as we did yesterday. A little more follow through this morning, went right to the 200-day moving average, which was kind of interesting, and it's bounced off. Now, about an hour before the close, it was trying to rally, and it was up near the high here, and then all of a sudden sold off in the last 45 minutes, 30 minutes, that type of thing. So let's see. Okay, yeah. Now I want to go to the S&P 500 here. Again, similar, not a whole lot of change. We've got what we call a doji, D-O-J-I, for those of you not familiar with candlesticks. This basically means indecision. So basically it opened 1656, closed 1656, right where it opened. So sometimes this means turning points down here, especially when you're at the edge of the band. Sometimes it is just a pause and you get continuation. So you really don't know until tomorrow, and we'll just have to wait and see how that shakes out. So the New York Composite, very much the same way. Similar look, not a whole lot of change. The Nasdaq, this has had more penetration than any of the other indices. And as I said, before, this is a very bearish formation with this rising wedge. And we've got this breakdown closed below the 50-day moving average. That's this line right here. The target that I've got down here is the bottom of the wedge. So that's what I'm looking at the extent of the move. Now, it's not unusual to get a snapback pullback up to the trend line. So that's totally possible that could happen in the next day or two or three. So we'll just have to see if we get that or if we get continued selling. So let's see. One thing I wanted to add, that's pretty much it for the U.S. I want to look at the, hadn't looked at China in quite a while. So this is the Shanghai Composite. I had looked at this a while ago, and you could see it broke this downtrend line that had been since February, and it broke it in September, and it had pretty good power to it. The RSI index got very overbought, which is usually an indication of kind of a kickoff in that direction. Whenever you get that kind of extreme, that kind of strength. Not always, but many times it is. And then what was interesting is it looks like we got a little bit of a flag here in terms of a consolidation pullback. And now the last couple of days we've had some move up and breaking out of this flag. So it's a good chance this thing is going to run from up here. And it'll be interesting to see if China starts to turn up. You can see that it has been in quite a bit of a downtrend over the last, since 2009. So not unusual at all to see. I mean, if this thing were to, kind of break out of this huge thing, and that could help the market tremendously. So let's take a look. I want to take a look real quick at a couple of stocks that I currently have. Then we'll talk about a couple of ideas, and then that'll be it for this evening. I am currently in Broadcom still. Now, I got in on this day on Friday the 27th. It has been 8 trading days, and it has not been going my way. Now, it did not stop out. It did not go above this high right here when it got this close above the blue line, above the 10-day exponential moving average. I did not get a confirming close above that high, so I stayed in, and it pulled back down. Now, I really would like to see it break this trend line and head south, test this low right over here. That's what I'm expecting to happen. But honestly, now tomorrow's Thursday. I'm giving this 2 more days. unless it's moved in my direction by close of business on Friday, I'll be out of this position. I'm only going to give it 10 days. That's more than enough to tell me whether it's going to, do it or not. The other one, Expedia, that I got into. Expedia really sold off today. It went down, was down almost 2 points at one point, and then rallied back up. We'll just have to see. Again, I think this is a very bearish formation, this rising wedge. Very similar to what I just talked about with the Nasdaq composite. So the 50-day here, the 200-day here. The interesting thing, you see all these numbers. One thing I noticed about the formation with this selling, just real quick, is that this looks very similar to what happened here. We had a move up, down, almost like a V-shaped, and we got a V-shaped here, and we got a sharp rally and a sharp pullback, sharp rally and a sharp pullback, and then a steady rally up here to new high. We've got the steady rally to new high. You've got this little U-shaped rally, sell off and rally, and then this major collapse, and we got this U-shaped here. Now this one's a little bit more prolonged than this one, but it's very similar in terms of the pattern of what's happening. So I'm really expecting this to come down to this point at a minimum. And given the breadth and depth of what it did here, if it were to duplicate this kind of a leg, it'll go a lot lower. And you see that I've got support lines that I've drawn in. This sometimes gets in the way. Support lines that I've drawn in from spots over here where I look to see, okay, where did support come in? Where do we have a gap at prices that could potentially get filled very easily? So that's what we're looking at. I mean, if this were to come down the same distance in terms of percentage move, this is what we're talking about down here. Now, I have no idea whether it's going to go that far or not. We're just going to have to keep an eye and watch and see what happens on a daily basis. So a couple of ideas just to watch here. Apache, I've mentioned this before, still watching this, I think is bullish. I'd like to see a close up above this high of this day, which is at 87.29. SanDisk got a buy signal on October 2nd and rallied up. It's pulled back. It's really actually right where I bought it. I mean, I didn't buy this one, but right where I got the signal at the close, 61.48. So it's right where I got the signal. So it'll be interesting to see whether we get any kind of continuation push here or not. And the other idea I had for this evening was Freeport-McMoRan. So again, got a buy signal here on October 2nd. Now this one's pulled back a little weaker, got a close below the 10-day. And then usually, again, if I get a close below the low of that day, I exit. Now, that's not happened here. It was close, but it didn't happen. The low was 32.82, closed at 32.88. So, again, I don't have a position here, but if I would have, I would still be in that position because I didn't get a sell signal right here. And really, that's the type of sell signal I'm looking for. Does it close below the low of the day that closes below the 10-day? And I use that as a stop until I get the action where it comes up and starts to hit the bands up here, the Keltner channel, the Keltner bands. So, and then we have different stops, and I'll talk about that another time. So anyway, that's about it for this evening. So we'll leave you with the Nasdaq chart, and hope you guys have a great day tomorrow, and we'll talk to you tomorrow evening. Have a good one.